Caitlin Clark's trying to pass the ball in the first 2 minutes of the game, and this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails. It reached a boiling point yesterday.
Look, I'm not pissed to the point where I'm annoyed and I'm going to call people out their names, or especially people that I love, like the person I'm about to talk about in a few minutes.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA.
That's great, and you have an opportunity to come back the next game and, try to play a little bit better and give yourself a chance to take it back home.
You know what's crazier than Caitlin Clark's record-breaking rookie season? The fact that one dirty move might have derailed it all. Let's talk about the eye poke that's got everyone from fans to Dave Portnoy fired up. So, it's the playoff game between the Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun. The arena's packed, fans are going wild, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation, is facing off against her rival, DiJonai Carrington. The tension's so thick you could cut it with a knife. Then it happens. In a split second, Carrington's hand makes contact with Clark's eye. The crowd goes silent, then erupts in outrage. No foul call? Are you kidding me? Social media explodes, and suddenly this isn't just about one game anymore.
The Indiana Fever got curb stomped by the Connecticut Sun.
That's what Caitlin Clark said, that it was a cheap shot. It was not a basketball play. She should have been ejected. And opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with.
But damn it, in the first 2 minutes of this game, this DiJonai Carrington stabbed Caitlin Clark with her fingernails right in the eye.
I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me.
It wasn't intentional by any means. You just watched the play. It wasn't intentional.
So what happens with the eye poke? It's just the beginning. You won't believe how this one moment is about to shake up the entire WNBA. Get ready, because we're diving deep into the drama and the fallout. Think that was intense? Hold on to your cap. There's a whole history between these two that most fans don't even know about, and it's making waves far beyond just one game. Let's rewind a bit. Caitlin Clark and DiJonai Carrington. They've been going at it for a while now. This eye poke didn't come out of nowhere. These two have been trading shots on and off the court all season. Remember that regular season game where Carrington called out Clark for flopping? Yeah, that wasn't just trash talk, it was fuel for the fire. Every time these two stepped on the court after that, you could feel the tension. It was like watching a powder keg just waiting for a spark. And then boom, the eye poke happens and social media absolutely explodes. Fans are going wild, taking sides faster than you can say foul. You've got Team Clark calling for Carrington's head, while others are defending DiJonai, saying it was just a heat of the moment thing. Then someone posts a new video angle of the incident, and suddenly everyone's playing detective. Was it intentional? An accident? The debate is raging, and it's pulling in more than just die-hard WNBA fans. Even Clark's teammates are getting caught in the crossfire. Nalissa Smith, she catches heat just for interacting with Carrington after a game. That's how intense this rivalry has become. It's not just about two players anymore. It's dividing entire fan bases. You'd think all this drama would be bad for the league, right? Well, guess what? It's actually doing the opposite. This rivalry, as heated as it is shining a spotlight on women's basketball like never before. More eyes on the game, more people talking about it, more fans tuning in to see what happens next. It's like the old saying goes, there's no such thing as bad publicity. And in this case, the WNBA is reaping the benefits. People who never gave women's basketball a second thought are suddenly glued to their screens, waiting for the next chapter in the Clark Carrington saga. As fans flocked to see what would happen next, Clark faced an unexpected opponent, herself. The numbers tell a story that even she didn't want to believe. What really went down after that eye poke? Remember when Clark was dominating the court, breaking records left and right? Well, after that eye incident, things got a little weird. Her stats took a nosedive. We're talking about a player who was averaging 25 points per game, suddenly struggling to hit double digits. Her shooting percentage, it plummeted faster than a brick from the three-point line. Clark wasn't about to make excuses. After the game, she stepped up and said, "She obviously got me pretty good in the eye. I don't think it affected me, honestly. I felt like I got good shots. They just didn't go down." Talk about taking responsibility, right? She even added, "We didn't play to the level that we're capable of playing." Now, you'd think that would be the end of it. Clark said she was fine, so case closed, right? Not so fast. Fans weren't buying it. Social media exploded with theories. Some were convinced the eye poke threw off off her game despite what she said. Others thought it was just a convenient excuse for a bad. Let's think about this for a second. You're in the middle of a high-stakes playoff game, adrenaline pumping, and suddenly you get poked in the eye. Bam! Even if you shake it off, that's got to mess with your head a little, right? Experts say that even tiny disruptions can mess with an athlete's performance in a big way. It's not about physical pain, it's about breaking your focus, throwing off your rhythm. Imagine trying to sink a three-pointer when your depth perception is a little bit off. Suddenly, those shots that usually swish through the net are clanking off the rim.
There was no real discussion of it on the ESPN broadcast. DiJonai Carrington stabbed her with her fingernails in the eye. Caitlin Clark's trying to pass the ball in the first 2 minutes of the game, and this woman swats at the basketball and somehow decides to turn her hand down and her fingernails.
I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me, and opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with.
ESPN wrote a story after the game that did not mention the biggest star in American sports was assaulted 2 minutes into the game. Caitlin Clark played a terrible game, shot 4 of 17 from the field.
There should have been a fine that was incurred thereafter.
There was no foul call.
Oh, and let's not forget the mental game. Basketball is as much about confidence as it is about skill. One bad shot can snowball into a whole quarter of missed opportunities. Imagine it happening in a playoff game with millions of eyes on you expecting greatness. While Clark battled her inner demons, a storm was brewing beyond the arena. What if I told you a simple eye poke could shake the very foundations of the WNBA? The controversy didn't stop at the final buzzer. It exploded off the court, igniting a firestorm of debate about player safety and league regulations. Suddenly, everyone from casual fans to sports moguls was weighing in on WNBA rules. Dave Portnoy, never one to shy away from controversy, threw gasoline on the fire. He called out the WNBA, asking, "Why does the WNBA let players wear gigantic nails if they use them as weapons? We're lucky Clark didn't lose an eye here." His tweet sent shockwaves through social media, sparking intense discussions about player equipment regulations. Something as simple as long nails became the center of a heated debate. Fans started questioning everything. Are the current rules enough to protect players? Should there be stricter regulations on what players can wear on the court? The WNBA found itself in the hot seat. People were demanding answers, calling for investigations, and pushing for immediate rule changes. The league's silence on the matter only fueled the fire. Fans and critics alike wondered, was the WNBA taking player safety seriously enough? This wasn't only about one incident anymore. It opened up a whole can of worms about officiating practices and player conduct policies. People started looking at other sports, comparing rules, and asking why the WNBA seemed to be lagging behind in certain areas. Social media was buzzing with opinions. Some fans defended the current rules, arguing that changing them would alter the game too much. Others demanded immediate action, worried that without changes, more players could get hurt. The eye poke incident became a symbol of a larger issue. It wasn't only about Clark and Carrington anymore. It was about the future of women's basketball. How could the league balance player expression with safety concerns? What changes would make the game better without taking away its unique character? As the debate raged on, one thing became clear. This wasn't going away anytime soon. The WNBA was facing a crossroads. Would they stick to their guns and keep things as they were? Or would this be the catalyst for major changes in the league? Experts started weighing in, discussing how rule changes could impact the game. Would stricter equipment regulations change players' styles? Could new safety measures actually make the game more exciting by allowing players to be more aggressive without fear of injury? So this eye poke drama, it's way bigger than just Clark and Carrington. It's shaking up the whole WNBA. Fans are split, some saying it was dirty, others calling it an accident. This isn't about one game or two players anymore. How does something like this change a player's career? Or how fans see the league? It's got everyone talking about what's fair play and what crosses the line. Let's be real, it's putting women's basketball in the spotlight like never before. Here's what I want to know. What do you think this means for the future of the WNBA? Are we going to see new rules? Different ways of handling these intense rivalries? The game's changing and we're all watching it happen live, and I'm sure you want to witness it firsthand. So stay tuned for more exciting times in women's basketball. Please share your thoughts below and please subscribe. See you all in the next video. Now, let's go.